spent 2 years at university studying psychology, and this is the best takeaway from that 2 years, and I got that from my psychology professor. I'm sure it will help you too. There was a time when I wanted to do my DNA sequencing because I'm the type of person I want to know everything that is going to happen to me. So I actually wanted to know, how am I going to die? And I was ready for it. I'm that type of person. Tell me the truth and I will deal with it. Then I briefly mentioned it to my professor, Dr. Anita. And then she looked at me and she said, can I offer you my personal opinion? Please, please don't do that. Now you need to know that she had 20 plus years in clinical psychology and she was specialized in schizophrenia. So she has seen some stuff happening. So we started this long conversation and she said, look, I am not going to offer you any psychological theory because you are studying those. I'm not even going to remind you that you are studying genome expression and gene activation. But what I'm going to tell you that human resilience don't come from being prepared. She then talked about all the data and studies that looked at family members being prepared for somebody's death. And when it happens, they crumble like a cookie. And then she presented with some data and studies where immediate that happens and family members deal with it and they come out being more resilient. And she reminded me of the saying that let's cross that bridge when we get there, because human beings are extremely good at that. What makes us weak and anxious and depressed is the preparation, is the anticipation, is that stories that your mind starts creating. Let's say if the doctor said, Sylvia, you have, dormant genes in terms regarding to dementia. So the moment I start forgetting things, I would start thinking, oh my God, it is starting. And then you would activate that gene very, very quickly. Now, of course, it's not that simple, but could happen. Then she went on to the ethical elements of gene sequencing. And she said, what if you find something out that you really don't like? And now, this is not only your data, that's your brother's data too. Are you going to tell him? You don't have the right, but you don't have the right not to tell him either. So I'm like, what do I do with that? So I didn't, because you know what? We will deal with it when we get there. If we ever get there, we don't really know. So human resilience really comes from not knowing, but acting on things when they happen.